Welcome. So I must apologise, I haven't had a chance to upload this review earlier in the week. It's been quite a long time since Praxeus aired. I have a new editing software at the moment, I'm playing around with it. I didn't want to release a video where it was just a complete and utter mess, a shambles, because I'm not 100% confident with it yet. And this will be the last video I edit on this current software, so next week's video will look shinier and different and more exciting, hopefully. But yeah, this will be the last video I do on this editing software, and I'll switch over. So I'm gonna update you on Praxeus, my first impressions. I'm gonna act like it was on the night, because I had some very interesting impressions on the night. Future of the Judoon was an amazing, game-changing, exciting, explosive, awesome, fan-servicey, twisty-turny thing that happened, and I can't say I have that many adjectives to describe this week's episode. I feel like Praxeus is very filler, in the worst possible sense, as in last week, so built up that momentum, that flow that this series was sort of leading towards and building to the big finale, and from the looks of the next 4 episodes they'll all continue to build that flow and momentum and have some story arc stuff going on in them. But then this one just feels plonked here and just out of the blue, just random. It felt like it should have been before Fugitive, after Nikola Tesla's Night of Terror. I think it's a very weak episode, but it feels even weaker because it comes after Fugitive the Judoon. There's nothing wrong with it. It's not terrible by any means. It's just not too thrilling, it's not too interesting, it's not too exciting, it's not too unique. It drags at points. It has potential, but it misses out on that potential. So, certain elements of it I liked, but there were very few of them that I actually liked. There wasn't actually very much that I thought, wow, that was amazing. There was a lot of things which I was either meh or I didn't like, and there wasn't much I particularly enjoyed that much. Once again, Jodie felt doctory, but I found it distracting that a doctor was just acting normal and there was no reference to the story arc. It was clear that this one was filmed before Fugitive of the Judoon and that the cast didn't have any clue that this was going to be after it. So, because this was one of the first episodes they filmed along with Spyfall Part 1. So you can tell that that's evident, and there's a bit of a weird series order thing there. I think the other series order thing that's wrong with it is that it comes only a few episodes after Orphan 55, which shares a similarly political message. That time it was climate change, this time it was plastic and the effect it has on the environment. And although this one handles it better and less ham-fistedly than Orphan 55 did, I wasn't a huge fan of the fact that there's 2 very similar messages covered in such a short span of episodes. I think maybe they should have left one of these episodes to the next series, or just not put them in the same series, whatever the solution would be. I think maybe Orphan 55 should have just not had that message, because it feels like it's preachy because they've already done it, and it just feels very in your face. There were times when the dialogue made it very in your face. Like Orphan 55, a very important message, a message that could be done so well in Doctor Who, but fails in the way it's executed. I think the message would have worked better maybe if they had Sea Devils or Autons or Silurians to back up the plot and make it more interesting and more thrilling with the effects that this plastic is having, and the plastic consumption, and that would be really interesting if they used any of those 3 villains, it wouldn't have been too cramped. I think it would have worked better. I think the twist of the episode, the whole second half really just fell flat for me. The first half of the episode felt like it had potential, it was building up. It was a globe-trotting thing like Spyfall was, and it was quite epic and interesting, and I liked how all the characters were split up and separated, the companions separated, the Doctor separated. But then when you brought the guest cast together and when you brought the companions together, it felt very cluttered. It felt like there was a lot of story elements bombarded on you, and just felt very cluttered. Although I didn't find I had much of an attachment to any of the supportive cast, or any interest in any of them, they mostly were well developed. I thought the couple in it were well developed. I thought Suki was well developed. I think that was her name. I thought Gabriella was strongly written, maybe acted too. I just wasn't a big fan of the character. I feel like it was good that Yaz actually spoke, but it's annoying me how people are raving about her speaking. But she didn't really get anything interesting to do, really. She just did what a normal companion should do, but it felt better because she hadn't done it at all, which is just a bit pathetic. The companions weren't really too great or stand out in here. I thought Ryan and Yaz were both very weak. Graham had a few funny lines, I think. He usually does, but didn't really get too much to do. I don't really remember what he said, but I'm sure there were a few things which he did well, including his scene with Adam or Jake, whichever one it was. I don't know which one is which. Yeah, there's not too much to divulge in with this one. It's not standout or interesting in any way. I didn't really feel too much enjoyment while watching it or reflecting on it, but maybe part of that is because of certain elements like the lack of story arc that bring it down, and the fact that it's underwhelming after last week. I think it's a bad choice to put an episode like this after one like last week's. Perhaps should have had this before last week and then build up the momentum, because it looks like Can You Hear Me will have many more story arc relevance from what I'm hearing about the episode, or at least character arc relevance. So that one will probably make a lot more sense. We'll find out. But yeah, I'll be here for my review of that next week, hopefully on my shiny, swanky new editing software, so please join me then. Anyway, thank you for watching, leave your thoughts below, and I will see you next time.